What's going on, everybody? This is Al from NCAA 06 Revival. And in the last video, we went through all of our off-season shenanigans, hauled in an amazing class. I was able to get all of my needs met at every position, and now my roster is loaded with a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. So I'm super excited for the future of this program, and I just can't wait to get this upcoming season started. But first, we got to go through our preseason shenanigans for our third season. So right off the bat, we'll just start with the schedule. And right off the bat, this is great. The rotation worked. We're finally getting to play Penn State and Northwestern. Awesome. We'll still get to play Illinois. That tells me we are probably no longer playing Minnesota this year and whatever the other... Oh, no, we are playing Minnesota. Ohio State. So we replaced Penn State, or Ohio State with Penn State and Northwestern, and I don't know who we were playing before. Anyway, I'm glad it rotated, so it's good to play those two. Just looking from the onset here, I like that Purdue is our last game of the season, as it should be. And I want to keep it at 11 games. I mean, there's no point having 12 if you don't need them, and I don't need them as long as I win. So I'm going to keep it at 11 games, but it looks like I only have a choice between these three to go against. I may go just against Temple just because we're closer. Then we're recruiting Pennsylvania pretty hard. So we could do Pennsylvania here, do it a home game. That could be a good recruiting game for us. Bring in some visitors there because the conference schedule is pretty even in terms of home and away, home and away. It's usually road to home, two roads, a road, or at home, and then road. So that's pretty good. Now, last season, we've been playing Kentucky every season so far, and I want to start playing Notre Dame every season. But I don't know if I want to keep both. We played at Kentucky last year, so that means we can play Kentucky this year. So I'm going to okay with keeping it as such. I want to play Notre Dame right here, and it should be at Notre Dame. So that's what we're going to do. We played Notre Dame at home last year. Want to play them up there this year. And like I said, I don't need to add a 12th game. So I think I'm set with this schedule. I mean, we're already playing, what, 4 ranked games. It should be, I mean, that's a tough schedule as is. Michigan, at Iowa, that's going to be a tough one. At Wisconsin, so I'm super excited about this. I still want to keep Kentucky. I mean, if it gets to the point where I'm beating them by 50 points every single year, then I may need to switch that up. But the reason why I like to play Kentucky is because, one, they're close, and two, I still want to try to get some kids out of Kentucky because they produce pretty good players from the Commonwealth. So that's the roster. Yes, I want to keep it. Now we're going to go to redshirt. This should be interesting. If you look at the total roster, I got 70 players. I only have 7 seniors, 19 juniors, and it gets bigger and bigger after that. 19 sophomores, 25 freshmen. And I'm going to do a ton of redshirting. So let's get this show on the road. Let's start with quarterbacks. Sussman's going to start. That's obvious. And Powers is going to back him up. Now, it looks like his impact status went off of him. Finally. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out in the depth chart, I guess. Maybe you can't tell on the roster page. But Mike Alexander, the true freshman, Tavita Ford, true freshman, and Ben, a true freshman. We're going to redshirt all three. Like I said, Powers will back up Sussman. We're just loaded down with kids right here. My goodness. So you're not going to see many freshmen play this year, which doesn't hurt my feelings because we got nothing but sophomores starting for us. Dennis Underwood's going to be a preseason All-American. We'll go look at that a little bit later, but for now, we got the Harrison Kia freshman. We're going to redshirt him. I would have wanted to redshirt this fullback. I know we don't use a fullback, but I wanted to keep it for a couple of years. But it looks like since he's transferring, he's got a city year, and he's already redshirted, which means we'll only get 1 year out of him. But at least I don't have to waste points recruiting a fullback for at least another year. Okay, here's my big dilemma, and it's a good dilemma. A very good problem to have. Last year, my best receiver, far and away, was Terrence Turner. But athleticism-wise, talent-wise, he's the 5th best receiver. Because I picked up all these guys. Now, Vincent Yancey is a transfer. I'm going to redshirt him. He can't play anyway, so you might as well just redshirt him. But Ridgeway, Walker, and Wheeler. And then Turner. and then Bush. Now I think I could finally redshirt Bush. Thompson, I think I can redshirt him. I mean, these guys have to play. These freshmen need to play above over these guys. It's just obvious. Williams, true freshman, I can redshirt him. That still gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. That's more than enough. And we're going to look at the playbook later. I'm going to spread it out a little bit more because my talent's shifting a little more to the speedier guys at the wideout position. I mean, I could easily redshirt one of these other guys, but really don't want to. I mean, look at the speed. 99, 99, 96. Just incredible. And I don't know who's going to start at X. I don't know who's going to start at Z. I don't know who's going to start at my slots. I haven't figured that out yet. We'll figure that out, I guess, when we get to the depth chart. But like I said, it is a good problem to have. Tight end. Brandon Turner, best tight end in the country. He's going to stay that way. He's going to get the ball a lot. He's still my go-to skill player on the offense. So I'm obviously not going to redshirt him, but he's got depth behind him. Now, Eric Jones was the freshman that we redshirted. He came into the same class as Turner. But Sexton, even though he's not as fast, his awareness is much better, and he can catch a little bit better. So Jones isn't going to play much this year. And I do have a couple, no, actually maybe 2 tight end sets, 12 personnel. So Sexton and Turner is going to get, their chances to play quite a bit. So I don't know if Jones is going to play much unless Turner gets hurt. Knock on wood, hopefully he doesn't get hurt. Okay, the line. Let's start with the tackles. These two started last year. Nothing should change with that because it's obvious. Look at their awareness. That's super important. That means I can redshirt this freshman. I can redshirt this freshman. And it comes out the perfect backups, Rogers and Rowland, for the other two guys. I'm not going to redshirt anybody here. Don't have to. I got 2 capable backups behind my 2 starters from last year. So we're set there. And maybe in the off season, for whatever reason, I can't get a guard. I like to add at least 1 guard to next year's class. But if I can't, I can always move a tackle over if need be. Center, we are in great position here. We got a junior, a freshman, and a freshman. I can redshirt this cat. Moses will start for us. Now, if you look here, this is kind of interesting. I'm going to take this off just for a minute. Moses and Wilson. It's one of these two. Wilson's stronger, but Moses has the awareness, and that's more important, especially if you're running a passing-oriented offense. But if you look at their blocking stats, Wilson is by far and away the better. He's got to be a much better pass blocker. Wow, look at that. Whew. But Moses played well for me last year, so I'm still okay with redshirt and Wilson. That way, that gives him a 3-year separation. I'm okay with doing that. And for whatever reason, Moses doesn't perform well. I don't know. I can take the red shirt off of Wilson, but it's, again, a good problem to have. Defensive ends. Richard, true freshman, he's got to play. And Matt Lewis had an awesome season last year. He's definitely going to be my left end. Richard will be my right end, and I got backups behind him. Again, great depth at this position. Young, too. 4 juniors. So I need to probably pick up another guy. I'd rather pick up a big old middle linebacker and move him down. Defensive tackles, done real good here in the recruiting class. I'll be able to redshirt some guys. London and Love both played starter for me last year, and you can tell their awareness is a whole lot better than these 2 guys. But I need some depth since I run a 4-3. So I'm going to redshirt one of the 2. They both look identical. I don't think it really matters. So I'll just redshirt one, and that way Dickerson will come in. And if I pick up another defensive tackle or 2, I can maybe redshirt Sutton afterwards because, I do have Love. He is a senior. But anyway, I don't need both to play. I just need 2 guys to back my starters up. Outside linebacker, nothing's going to change here. Friend and Holt. Friend may go down as one of the best linebackers I've ever had. I mean, he's just a killer. Don't have to do anything there. Middle linebacker, don't have to do anything here. I could redshirt him if I wanted to. And have him back him up. I can go ahead and do that because I don't run a 4-4. I run plenty of 4-3. especially on the cover 1 high stuff. So I can go ahead and redshirt him, and for whatever reason Baker gets hurt, I'll have some backups that I won't be too worried about. Corner, I like to have 4 at all times, so I can redshirt this kid, the Pleasant, the freshman. Works out perfectly. Rogers and Smith started for me last year, with Porter and Weddle backing up. So I wonder who's going to be my nickel. I might have to think about that a little bit later. Yeah, it's going to be Porter. He's not as fast as Weddle, but he's much smarter, and that's a little more important to me. Stronger, too. Free safety. This is going to be a bit of a conundrum. Who do you start? I got all 3 of them are easily doable when it comes to playing. But Mitchell is by far smarter than the other 2, just because he's older, much older. His downside, he's not very fast, and my safeties both do the exact same thing because I flip my plays around a lot depending on what the offense is doing. You look at tackle, he's much better tackler. I think it's obvious I need to have Mitchell start, which means I just need to redshirt one of these 2 guys, and they both look pretty identical. I don't think it really matters. We'll just do Taylor for now. Awareness for Thompson's a little bit better, so I'm okay with that. As long as I have a backup for Mitchell, I'm good. Strong safety. Schroeder was amazing last year. Big Ten first teamer. He's going to start this year. He's stronger. He's smarter than Biggers. And Biggers being the true freshman, I can just redshirt him. Here's the only downside. If Schroeder gets hurt badly, then Biggers is going to have to play because Skelton isn't talented enough to start for me. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So we'll redshirt Biggers. Kicker. True freshman. He'll start for us all 4 years. He's got a great leg from what I remember. 90 and 86. I'm perfectly happy with that, especially him being a true freshman. Punter. He'll start for me all 4 years. I mean, I could go recruit a better one down the road if I'm lucky enough, but I don't think it matters. I got good enough punter. He can get the job done, no doubt. So I'm set at both kickers for the next 4 years. So I think that's it. We're going to remove the red shirts. Now let's go to our depth chart. Sussman is an impact guy. Yes. Thank you. Much better. He's going to tear it up this year, I have a feeling. Because if you go back and look at his stats, like true freshman, 4,200 yards, 33 touchdowns, 66% completion percentage. That's excellent. And I think it'll only get better as his career goes on. Powers will be behind him. And, yeah, I'm okay with that. With Val George. Veloho George. Bless his heart. I'm sure he was teased as a child. Okay, halfback. Underwood. Obviously, he has to start. Burns and Payton. Nothing's going to change for that from last season. Just want to make sure I didn't have another halfback. No. We'll still do a couple twin halfback sets. You got to. That's a typical air raid staple. Fullback, don't have to worry about that. Wide receiver, gosh, here's what I do know. My X receiver, my number 1 guy who's always on my left, normally gets most of the touches, okay? My Z receiver, my number 2 guy, usually gets the least amount. That's just kind of the way it's worked out in this offense. So, my least, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to run a lot of different sets. Oh, this is going to be really tough. You just don't know who to put. I do know these 4 guys need to be playing a whole lot. Turner and the 3 freshmen. Let's look at their catch rating. 82, 80, 84, and 78. None of them are impact guys, obviously. Turner isn't. I think, slot. Let's put, catch is super important to me. Let's put Turner at the number 2 spot. And my number 3 and number 4, okay, no, I'll take this back. Here's what we're going to do. Before we go any further, I got to show you my playbook. And here's why I'm going to show you this first. Here's what I've switched up a little bit. I took Trips over out, pretty much replaced it with Trips, since I now have some talent at wide receiver. Still keeping spread, still keeping wide trips. I want to add normal. I like it a whole lot. A lot of good different concepts in it. I'm going to try to showcase that for you. Because still my best player is my tight end and Turner, so he's got to play a lot. So whenever I'm in these spread sets, I still want Brandon Turner playing, which means I don't need that much depth at wide receiver yet. Split, Ace Twins, normal, everything else stay the same. So, with that being said, I want to go back to my preseason options, red shirt. And we can go ahead and redshirt one of these other ones because I still have halfway decent depth with Bailey right here. My number 6 guy. So I'm okay with redshirting one of these two. And besides, I already have Thigpen, who's been my top returner the last 2 years. I still want to keep him there. I still want to use him. So let's redshirt Walker because his awareness is much worse. So we'll do that. So Ridgeway, Wheeler, Turner will be my 3 guys with Brandon Turner at the tight end spot. That's going to be my main set, more or less. So we're going to redshirt him. And now we'll go back to our depth chart. We'll go back to wide receiver. So now it's just deciding who wants to be my X, my Z. Wheeler, it needs to be my number 2. I think he's going to get the ball the least amount. My slot receiver, my number 3 guy, usually gets a lot of touches. So the fact that Turner, and I don't need a whole lot of speed at slot, to be honest. I don't do a lot of slot goes. I get more of that off the outside than anything else. I just need a steady hand at the slot position. So with that being said, I'm going to put Turner at the number 3 spot. Have Wheeler at the Z. That way Turner still gets a lot of catches because he played great for me last season. And if he doesn't play well, I can always move Wheeler. We can switch him. So, I mean, this isn't absolute, but honestly, I think Ridgeway has a chance to be an all-timer for me. So I want to put him at the X position and see how he goes. And if he doesn't play well, I can move him to slot. Either way, all 3 of these guys are going to play a ton. We'll put Bailey at the 4, Thigpen. I may put Bennett. He's got a better catch rate. No, he doesn't. Thigpen's got a better catch rating. So I'm good with that. Okay, tight end. I want Sexton as my number 2 tight end. He's not as fast, but he's much smarter, and he's got a better catch rating. Tackles. I got to see which one is the right tackle back up. Rogers and Rowland. So I need to put Rowland over at the left tackle. Right there. So I'm good with Bullock and Rowland behind him. Left guard, I'm good with that. Center, we're going to put Hester behind Moses. Smith, I need to put my other right guard. Hearn. Yep, that looks correct. And my right tackle, that looks correct. Rogers behind Brewer. Defensive end, I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me look at my roster real quick. At the defensive ends, Richard Lewis and... Did I redshirt any of these guys? I thought I did. Oh, I couldn't. That's why. So, as long as... Okay. Yeah, that should work out. So, let me go back. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have to put a left end at right end and vice versa. So, let's go back to left end. We're going to put our backup left end there. And backup right end right there. Name it behind him. Good deal. Defensive tackles, that's not going to change from last year. Those 2 guys are going to start with these 2 guys backing them up. And I'd rather have Brown there than Dickerson. He's just better than Dickerson. Even though they got the same overall, he's smarter. Outside linebacker, nothing's going to change there. Impact, obviously. I wonder who's my 3rd impact guy. Maybe he's not. We don't have one yet. We may have to create or build one up during the season. Middle linebacker. Let's put my backup middle linebacker there. And I don't think I have the other one. No, I don't. Okay. Right outside linebacker. Oh, maybe it's that 64 overall guy. Yeah. We'll put him there for now unless somebody gets hurt and we can adjust later. Corner. I think I was going to put Porter here because he's smarter. Yeah, I'd just rather have a smarter guy back there. And if it doesn't work out, well, we can play Weddle. But obviously Rogers and Smith are my number 1 and my number 2. Free safety, I wanted Mitchell. He's smarter. He can tackle better. And the way I use my safeties, I practically used them as outside linebackers a lot anyways, so I want to keep it as such. Strong safety, let me put my backup strong safety right there. Behind Schroeder. Kicker, punter, and punter-kicker. That's correct. Kick return. I still want Thigpen. Well, no, that may not be a good idea. Now that, because Thigpen can't catch. That's his problem. So here, let's just put in the freshman. I think that's a good idea. Because both of them can catch, and they both have speed. Rogers can't. So let me put Thigpen here. Both of them are faster than Thigpen, and they can actually catch. So, Ridgeway, Wheeler, we're going to let these guys get a lot of touches this year. Thigpen. Kickoff starters, I want that. And long snap, we could do our backup to our starter. Give him a little touch every now and then. A little playing time. Okay, I think we're set at the rosters, or at the depth chart. Let's check our captains. And just to make sure, we only got 2 impact guys. Yeah. Gosh, we got a ton of players. Look at all this talent. So young, too. Okay. I'm guessing we can go right here. Powers was our captain last year. I'll let him be captain again this year. Corner, probably one of these 2 guys. Tracy Porter, he'll be my nickel. We'll let him be a captain. That's fine. It doesn't really matter. Okay. We got that out of the way. Now, let's go to Athlon Sports and just check out all the preseason stuff. Preseason polls, I was actually a little bit disappointed by this. I don't know if you noticed earlier, but they got us 18th. And it's because we're still young. I get it. But I thought we finished the season strong last year. We brought everybody back. So I thought we was going to be a little bit higher. But they still look at overall roster and how old they are and all that good stuff. So we'll just work our way on up. And as long as we win, nothing will get in our way. Heisman watch. I'm curious to see who'll be on here. Sussman. Awesome. Good for him. He's earned it. He put up a ton of good stats last year. Blake Mitchell. He's still there. John David Booty. Gwaltney of West Virginia. I remember him playing. He didn't do much. Texas Tech. Graham Harrell. He had an awesome career there. So hopefully Sussman can put up some crazy numbers and maybe win that thing. Preseason All-Americans. We should have a few guys here. Look, you can see right here. Underwood is on the page. He's a first-team All-American. Brandon Turner's first-team All-American. Which is awesome if you think about it. You know, how many times do we run the ball? Hardly ever. But he puts up a ton of stats because he catches the ball a lot. And when he gets down to the goal line, you just hand it off to him. He still gets a lot of touchdowns in the end. So you can still have All-American halfbacks with a passing-oriented offense. All right, let's keep going. Friend, obviously, going to just be a monster for us. That's it for the first team. Let's see if we got anybody second team. Yes, we do. Rogers, good for him. Our number 1 corner. Let's go to the Big Ten. We should have a few guys on here. Sussman, Underwood, Terrence Turner, Brandon Turner, Friend, Rogers, and Schroeder. Awesome. Love it. Now let's go to Conference Outlook. They got us number 5. I think it's really goofy. But anyway, we'll prove them all wrong, and we can hopefully try to win the Big Ten championship for a second year in a row. Toughest places to play. This ain't going to affect us, but I have been told by a couple people on YouTube that your team can move up this list over time. It is possible. As long as you just keep winning, you just never know. So maybe year 10 down the road, I mean, Indiana maybe be on here. As long as I keep winning the home games, obviously. Okay, now it's time for the fun stuff. Let's go to recruiting. Now, if you remember earlier, I have 9 total seniors. I got a ton of juniors, but I don't have many juniors playing. I got still a lot of sophomores starting for me, which means my next recruiting class isn't going to be very big, and I don't want to over-recruit a bunch of kids. So my recruiting class next season is going to be pretty small, 10 to 15, around through there. Which means I would love to have a monster in-season recruiting class here, so I don't have to do hardly any recruiting in the off-season, which means I can put a ton of points into training. That's the goal. We'll see if we can reach that. Having said that, I'm going to load up on the best talent that I can find that's still within my geographical area, that type of thing. As you can tell, I have no roster issue in terms of losing anybody. I technically don't have to recruit anybody, and my 2 deep is still good. That's a good problem to have. Look, available scholarships over, well, that's the 12. That's just the one we're showing for now. But as you can tell, just 7 total for next year, and that's because off the red shirts that I've done. That's just incredible. So I can afford to be real picky about the 12 I'm going after. I'm going to go after monsters. But I do know I'd like to pick up some linebackers, a corner, or a corner. And if I can find stud skill players, you can never go wrong with getting them. Guard, I'd like to go get a guard at least. And if I can't get a guard, I can always move a tackle. So I think I know what I'm going to get. But first off, we'll go with our pipeline states first. We'll start with Indiana, see if we got anybody. Here's a 4-star guard, 4-star center, even though I don't need him, and so on and so forth. Here's a fast tight end, but I just don't need him. Won't play for a long time. So I may go after this guard if I can't find somebody worth going after at that position. But let's go to the other pipelines. Kentucky's still not a pipeline, and they don't have any 5-stars. Let's go to Michigan. They got a left guard. It's almost like, but 465, 690 to this guy right here. 470, 680. One's got a little bit better bench, one's got a little bit better squat. So I'd rather just have the local kid, just for sentimental purposes. But we'll just keep looking around here. We'll go to Ohio next. 5-star. See, another left guard. Say 480, 690. That's the real deal right there. Not very small, or not very big. And they got another guard behind him. Let's just go after him. That's obvious. It's just a must to go after a guy like that. Pennsylvania, pipeline. No 5-stars and a strong safety, but I'm set as strong. I got 2 guys, and both of them are freshmen and sophomores, so I mean, I could go after this kid if I wanted to. Look at his squat, 520. That's humongous for a strong safety. I mean, he's practically an outside linebacker. We'll keep looking around, though. Tennessee, I'm just kind of curious to see if anybody's local. Paris, Tennessee, Germantown. And that's it for my pipelines. I'm trying to think. Surely I didn't create a pipeline somewhere else in the last couple off seasons. Iowa. No, not Iowa. I was wrong. Michigan is the pipe. Yeah, another left guard. We 465. So he is not as strong. I'd rather go after the other local kid. So let's just go ahead and do that. We'll do him. The other ones I'm not too crazy over. Okay, let's go to linebackers. I need both. I like to have a little bit of depth at both. Nothing in Indiana for outside linebacker. Kentucky, 3-star kid. Super fast. Not very smart, though. 25, 535. Let's go to Michigan. Yeah, this guy's much stronger. Not as 4.52, though. Whew, that's pretty good. I may need to go after him. I'll just go ahead and put a scholarship on him for now. Ohio, nothing outside linebacker, and Pennsylvania. 4.56, 405, 640. Yes. Okay, anybody see a glitch there? Is he literally 7 inches tall? Is that a glitch? I kind of want to recruit him and have him commit just to see if he's that small. Is he literally 7 inches tall? We're going to find out. I'm going to go after him just in case. Just to see what happens. Okay, middle linebacker. Let's go right here. And let's go back to Indiana. Nope. Kentucky, no. Michigan, a 4-star. He looks like a outside linebacker, though, which is still fine. He's really smart. Ohio, 460. He looks pretty close to a defensive end. This guy is too. This guy's super strong. I mean, 670. That's something else. 3-star kid. So 395, 670, 380, 640. So that was obvious going after him. So now what you can do, you can go back to all states. Middle, the top, just looking at how strong they are. This is by far, this is best linebacker out there. Reggie Jameson. He's the fastest and he's the biggest. He's the strongest. I mean, that kid's a stud. But I think I have a better chance of going after this kid who's just slightly less at everything, but would still play great for me. Illinois. I forgot about Illinois. Let's go after him as well. 6'3", 225. So I need to go back to Illinois. Totally forgot that was the pipeline. 5-star halfback. 4.31. 4-star quarter. I don't need a quarterback. I'm loaded there. Just looking here. I only got 3 halfbacks. I may need to go after that kid. So let's just go back to all the halfbacks. I got 6 scholarships left. So here's my chance to go after like all the 5-stars and see if any of them like us. So we got here are the 5 halfbacks that are 5-stars. Texas, Georgia, Illinois, Idaho. This guy's by far the strongest, but I need somebody who can catch, and right now you just can't tell if any of these guys can catch. But I also need some speed. And it looks like this guy is the fastest along with Stallings at the top, and he's just as strong. I mean, him and Stallings are identical. The fact that he's he's in proximity, pipeline kid, let's go after him. Okay, quarterback, I'm not going to bother. Wide receiver, I'm not going to bother. We're just too loaded there. I'm super young at tight end still. I just don't need to bother going after anybody here. Tackle, when in doubt, add some players to your line. We've already went after a couple guard. Here's the kid out of Michigan. Ohio. It doesn't really matter. I'd like to probably go after one more. Am I going after 2 of them already? Yeah. 5 more to give. Oh, gosh. They're all about the same, really. I'm going after the right guy, though, in all honesty. Let's just keep going. Let's look around for a little bit more. So here's the problem. Here's the reason why I don't like going after normal defensive ends, because look how strong they are. Supposedly the top guy's 3'7", 555. Look at the middle linebackers. 4'20", 680. These guys are so much stronger. That's why they play. That's why they convert so well to that position. I'm going to see if I find any monsters at defensive tackle. Nobody that's close. Here's a kid out of Tennessee. He's by far the strongest of the bunch. 670 on the squat. I may go after him and he's smart too. Brad Pierce out of Sweetwater. That's not too far from where I live. And I only have 4 on the roster, so let's go after that the Tennessee kid. Just because he's so strong. See, look at this kid. I don't know what to really make of this, to be honest. Horgan, 480 on the bench, only 605 on the squad. Yet Pierce is 470, which is a little bit less, but 670 on the squad. I mean, you think you'd want some beef right here. None of these guys are really huge. And this is another reason why I don't really like the 3-4. You can't hardly find a defensive tackle that's just humongous. You practically have to go get a guy like this right here. He looks like a 3-4 defensive tackle. They're maybe an athlete that's just really oversized, can maybe play that position. But otherwise, They're harder to find than your typical 4-3 tackle. I think I've done 2 and 2 for outside linebackers. 4 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars. So let's go after all these halfbacks. Let's go. Oh gosh, let's go after another guard because I know I need a little. Let's do a tackle and one more guard. Let's just go after the Michigan kid since he's a pipeline. Ohio 486.90. Look at this kid right here. 715 on the squat. 6'5", 315 out of Wyoming. I mean, that dude's coming out of the hayfields. Big and strong. Let's recruit him just because he's so huge. And he's so strong. Okay, we got 2 more left. I'd like to throw out a couple skill players. I've already gone after one halfback. I got some depth there already. Wide receiver, I'm afraid to take a chance on any of these because I'm already loaded down. I could probably do a tight end. But see this kid right here, 460, 325 and 470. So he could probably catch. But I have a local kid out of Indiana. 325, 470. 325, 470. So let's just go ahead and let's just go back to Indiana. I mean, this kid looks as good as any of them. So let's go after him. Maybe we'll get lucky and he'll have an awesome catch rating. Okay, halfback, we're good there. Tight end, I think we're good there. Guard, tackle, defensive, one defensive tackle. We're done good at linebackers, 2 and 2. We're good at corner. I don't know what else to do after that, to be honest. Don't need a center. I'm loaded down at center. I already got 3 guys there, even though it says that's my least, or my worst position, stat roster-wise. But he's a top guy. Let's just go ahead and do it for the sake of it. You can always move centers to guards as well. And the fact that he's a local kid, top 50 player, let's just go ahead and do it. So that wraps up all 12 guys. Okay. Now let's go to play week. Simulate the first week. And then we'll spread out our points. Curious to see where some of these guys are leaning towards. Maybe we'll get lucky and we already found out a couple of them already like one of our pitches. In-season recruiting. Let's just go down the line here real quick and see if any of them likes a pitch. Nope, not yet, which isn't a big deal. Okay, left guard, top guard in the country. Has us in his top. Handful there, so it's obvious. Let's put some points on him. This halfback has got C hands. I can't take him. I need a guy who can catch, so I'm not going to waste points on him. Another guard. These two are just kind of there, nothing special. Left tackle really likes me. And he was by far the strongest of the bunch. So let's put some points on him. This center, way down his list, and he's local. Defensive tackle, really like that kid out of Tennessee. He was really strong. Provide good depth at that position, so I'd like to put 20 on him. This middle linebacker apparently really wants to come. He's a monster. We'll put some points on him. And I like to put it on an outside linebacker, one of these two guys. Okay, so here's his tight end. He's got A- hands. I mean, he looks like an ideal tight end, but gosh, I just don't know when he'll play for me. I mean, I need a linebacker more. And neither one of these guys are really interested in me, to be honest. I mean, I could still maybe get him, but I'm all kind of down the totem pole for some of these guys already. But here's the kid that's Damon Hayes. We got to remember where he goes. I don't think I'm going to put the points in him just because it looks like he's just not super interested. I may do 25 across the board for everybody. Or no, I need to put him in one of these guys. So 405, 640. Gosh, I feel like I need to go after him just to see what happens. I'm afraid he'll be so small. I honestly believe he's literally 7 inches tall. Let's go after him. I'm loaded. It doesn't really matter. Let's just go after him. Let's put 20 points on him and see how big he becomes. And if he's really small, that means he won't be able to play hardly at all. Even though I still think that's a glitch. I don't know. We're going to find out. Okay. We're going to go after these 5. We're just going all biggest guys we can find. Really no skill players, but honestly, we're loaded everywhere. When in doubt, work on your front 7 and your offensive line. And that's what we're doing here. Okay, that's it for the preseason. Next video, we'll take on Kentucky, play them, and head out to the rest of our schedule. And I'm hoping to try to win a national championship this year. I think we're going to do it. So we'll see what happens. Okay, I'll talk to you later.